Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Views from the Bridge, your second favorite podcast about your favorite team, the Philadelphia Union. Gentlemen, what a difference 2 weeks makes. Am I right?
Ugh.
In a good way or a bad way? Because technically, both.
Well, 2 weeks ago, the general feeling of the Union fan base was we threw away the Shield in Vancouver, we threw away the Open Cup in Nashville, and now there's nothing to play for this season because we're definitely not going to win the Supporter Shield.
Right.
Well, 2 weeks later, and all the results that needed to go our way went our way, and now we're sitting with a magic number of 3 to clinch the Supporter Shield.
Chuck, you had a rebuttal. You can have it.
Yeah. Well, it's just
I was
that
being
I don't.
nice. I don't.
Well, I was just gonna say I feel like there was still something to play for. It was just the fact that it certainly did not feel like the Union were going to be the team lifting the Supporters Shield at the end of the season. And then, thanks, I guess, Chicago, Orlando, everyone else around the league, because it took like 5 different results going the Union's way. Plus, of course, FD win against DC to get us here.
Hey, off the top, bad news. Quinn Sullivan tore his ACL. Not spinning that here. What I will say is I do think it's a bit of a miracle, and or our physios are very good. We haven't really dealt with like long-term homegrown injury, I think, until now, really.
Well, I think this is the interesting thing about, like, the play Coven more. And he's tiny. He would get basically beaten up out there. And it's honestly like one of my biggest concerns about like players like Lamine Yamal and younger and younger soccer players just getting pushed into
First team action,
like larger roles immediately, and then so much being expected of them is that they don't have that time to actually grow into being ready for that first team action. And that is something that's good that the Union do try to take note of.
Yes.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
Yeah, an absolute beatdown of DC, and then that's the first time in a good while, I think probably since maybe the last time we won the Supporter Shield, where every result just fell our way, like all of them. So now it's just win one of these 2 games we have left, and that's there's a shield. And I did in my perusing of the internet earlier today see someone asked if it was going to be the real shield or the fake one, and the answer is both.
Yeah, you can't retire the fake one.
No,
for sure not. You got to bring that thing out. Let's talk about the game in DC a little bit. So the Union win that game 6-0, which I saw the picture going around that the Union are the only team to beat an opponent on the road by a score of 5+ on 3 different occasions, and now they've done that to DC. And then I think they were talking during the game about how the Union have basically owned the series against DC. And I think at that time, I think it was only 4-0 or 5-0, and we had a plus 44 goal differential in our series against DC. Fair to say, there's some teams in this league that have our number, but I would venture to say that we've got DC's at this point.
Yeah, for all the talk about how we've been owning Red Bull, which, I mean, we also have been. Actually, here, we talk all the time about teams that we don't like to play against. DC United's one that you come across and you go, yep.
This will be fun.
Listen, yeah, and I feel a little bad for Jordan Farr.
Yeah, seriously.
There's probably less potent attacks that you could have made your MLS debut against. And if you want a bit of a quick eye test on what the difference between a good USL team and a good MLS team is, there you go. But I think it was the 4th goal where he did the mean thing where he goozoned basically and just went flat back. That was great. Yeah, just a complete performance, and DC really, after they give up 2 or 3 goals, just shuts down. It's bizarre.
I mean, this is kind of what I talked about like last time when just how I get DC United fan. I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for most of the players on that team, but unfortunately, just ownership puts them in a terrible situation. But the Union are the chief benefactor. So what was it? This is like the first time that a team has beaten the same team like by more than 5 goals in like 3 different seasons, which I do love how niche MLS stats can get. But the Union score a lot of goals on DC United,
Yeah.
and it's very
Yeah.
fun. One
No, it's
of my
funny.
friends was at that game, and
Go for it. No, you had someone there. This is just going to be circling back to Justin.
I mean, my response to him was just like, that's unfortunate,
It sucks.
because obviously he was supporting DC, not the Union.
And you used that in past tense on purpose because they're no longer supporting DC, and they went, you know what? While I'm here, might as well. No, it's funny, Justin, because when you said our goal differential for them in the last however many, or in the all time is plus 44, I was like, man, that's crazy. I wonder how that happened. And I went, well, no, we know exactly how that happened. And it was 3 games where we ended up getting, 18 or 19 past to not. And that usually helps.
Well, and that stat doesn't even count the like what was it 5-0 6-0 at Subaru Park a couple years
Right.
ago.
Yeah, the home
like
games where we
there's been
throttled them
multiple
too.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that stat was just those 3 games in DC, and then you count the ones in Subaru Park or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, there's like 5 games where we beat them by 5 or 6 goals, and all of a sudden you're looking at a minus 30 goal differential for DC.
DC United is what people think that like early days Atlanta United were, or like when the Galaxy got David Beckham and like no one else, where it's like, well, they just have one guy on their team, and then everyone else, like, it's the anti MJ argument where it's like everyone else were post office or mailmen. It's like, I think, yeah, DC United is Christian Benteke and then mailman. I couldn't tell you, like, what. It doesn't feel like an MLS quality team.
And they still almost made the playoffs last season.
Don't get me down that. I'll do it.
It's just like it's just really funny because it's one of those things where, I mean, you do have to laugh to just not be depressed.
Yeah, for sure. Damiani scores. Antley's face scores on what might have been the weirdest goal I've seen in a long time.
Oh, it just sucks, right? Like, you kind of close the guy down, but 2 of you were doing the same thing, and then we kicked in the teeth and goal.
Vasilev scores twice. Iloski scores once, and then Ure adds the final touch onto that one. But yeah, there were a lot of decent goals,
and we're gonna need Ure a lot moving forward as he closes down what's probably his final season with the Union.
Yeah.
The other thing that's pretty incredible about thinking about winning a game 6-0 is we did it without Ty Baribo.
Well, when you pick up Milan Iloski in the offseason, he can. What a terrible goaltending, but man, it's so nice to have a guy that just goes, "I'll just shoot it. It's fine." Like,
those can be the best kind of forwards.
Especially because it pulls the defense out. Like the defense just doesn't know. Like, I think there was quite a few of Iloski's shots that didn't get through. But the thing that then you have to think about as a defender of like, well, I can't step off of this because then he'll shoot. If I step towards this, he might just pass around me. And that, I think the announcers were talking about at some point in the game. I think it was like with San Diego, he was 10 goals and 1 assist or something like that. And then with Philly, he's like 2 goals and 5 assists or something. And it's just like, it's wild that he can play so differently. It's just it's a different style of play, but he's figuring it out. He doesn't have to be the guy that scores all the goals, but he can take a lot of pressure off the guys that score all the goals.
Yeah, which is really good because, I mean, the Union need creators more than they actually need goal scorers, like it's very nice to be able to do
Especially
both.
now.
Well, and I would say, especially since like also the midfield still likes to shoot, and that helps take a lot of pressure off of people because you do have to track the midfielders because they might pop one from outside the box at any time. And this is just the kind of stuff that makes the Union so dangerous to cover, because when you put all of that together with like Tyberibo literally needing an inch of space to turn something into a goal, it is like, how do you game plan for stopping this team? Because like you can't cover everyone for 90 minutes.
Right. Well, I think that's why it's nice, to your point, Justin, where like Ilofsky was the dude getting service from Dreyer in San Diego. And I think a fair bit of his goals are probably from not being the guy everyone's worried about. Now he can go, well, I have a little bit of a reputation this year. I'm back now. But look, there's, like 5 other guys who are going to shoot pretty much if they have like 2 feet of space on this team. I'll just lay it off to someone and see what happens. And I guess Indiana Vasilev's also going to shoot, but, well, most of the time it doesn't do anything.
I did
Apparently
score
against
twice in
DC,
this game,
he's
but
like,
sure.
what if I get a brace? Now he's tied with, I don't know, insert various Union players here for most goals in Philadelphia Union history.
Oh God, that's such a you want to talk about depressing, and just look at that list, because like everything after
Pretty good guy at the top of it.
6 is like either what if or just this is how young this team is.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what else to talk about this game. This game was like, there's not much other than DC's a bad team. We're a good team. We made it look that way. Maybe the only other note that I think is kind of interesting is 3rd minute, Jeremy Raffanello gets subbed on. And then 3rd minute gets subbed out and Bender comes in for him. Does that mean Bender is behind Jeremy Raffanello on the depth chart?
Who knows? Does Ben Bender exist? Like, he got that little run during the summer and then nothing.
Well, if here, I'll get us to another game we're going to play. If we win on Saturday, Ben Bender's going to play 90 minutes the last regular season game.
For sure.
Because there will be nobody on this team should play in that game.
Welcome to your first MLS start, Neil Pierre and Sal Olivas. A front line to behold.
Yeah, I saw the chirps to maybe get Neil some meaningful minutes against DC, but obviously that didn't come to fruition. But yeah, at that point, it's
in those games you still want the clean sheet too, though. Like,
absolutely,
it is still tough to be like, hey, defenders, you're doing a great job, even though like I know DC is not giving you that much to do.
Yeah, it's like, well, Benteke's off, so.
Also, I got up that list of top scorers in Union history.
Yeah, please regale me.
I mean, technically, it's okay until 7. Because 7 currently is Tyberibo.
Okay. Who is
you want to know?
So, top 3, pretty easy. Daniel Gazdag, Sebastian Letou, Julian Carranza. Mikel Ure, number 4. Casper, DJ Sapong, Baribo.
Yep.
Now, at this rate, next season, Baribo will be probably number 3. Because there is only 10 goals separating him from Carranza. But then Alejandro Bedoya.
No. Really?
Yep. Corey Burke, Jack McInerney, Sergio Santos.
Yeah.
Fafa Picault. I forget that Osinio actually scored goals.
A couple against Red Bull like every year, yeah.
He's got 22 of them in 144 appearances.
Good for him. Fafa Picault scoring like 30 goals is incredible.
Then Connor Casey and Roland Alberg rolls out the top 15.
That's interesting because you think about the guys that have played attacking midfield for this team who were good attacking midfielders. Barnetta, Dotchkal, like you think about those guys. And I guess none of them stuck around for so long. But it's surprising that those guys aren't higher on the list.
Well, a lot of, like, Dochkov just didn't score. He set up everyone else for everything. And I think, if Barnetta even completes 3 seasons, he's on this list.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I don't know if I'm more concerned by Fafa Pico, who I remember missing a lot more really good chances than finishing, is as high as he is, or if I'm more concerned that Connor Casey, who was like 36 when he started playing for us, is still like in the top 15.
Out of everyone in the top 15, Connor Casey and Roland Alberg played the fewest games for the Union to make it there. Although, although it feels like everything with Roland Alberg was a disaster.
I mean, yeah.
It was an interesting disaster.
It sure was.
Still a disaster.
Good times.
Yeah,
New York City.
Well, I was going to say, in the other game that happened this weekend, not to be outdone by the Philadelphia Union, Frankie Westfield decided to get a goal and assist in 90 minutes against New Caledonia or somebody in the under-20 World Cup with the U.S. men's national team under-20 team. So they scored 9 goals in that game and won the game 9-1.
Good for him. He's so good.
And they play France tomorrow, or I should say Thursday, depending on when this is released.
That game will also end 9-1. Somehow all those games.
So, like, I hope they win, but I hope they don't score 9 goals again, just because now the U20 World Cup is on my radar, and it wasn't.
Well, hey, listen, New Caledonia.
No, exactly. It's just like, if they do what they did to New Caledonia to France, then, like, we've actually got a national soccer story on our hands.
Yes.
And you don't need that. Chuck's a busy man. Well. He doesn't need more stuff to write about. That's actually why he was stoked Chicago beat Inter Miami. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
I already have a very depressing Open Cup game on in the background of this.
Next game for the Union is on Saturday. They play NYCFC at our building, not on the postage stamp, which is grateful.
Thank God.
With a chance to win the Supporter Shield. That's wild.
No, this is going to be fascinating because it is a time where we're going to, again, before the playoffs, get to see how this team performs under pressure. And so far, the answer has been not great. So they do have another chance to kind of like get that out of their system before the playoffs, which is good. I mean, obviously, I feel like the goal is just like, don't lose, but you should want to win and lift the Supporter Shield in front of your home fans.
Yeah, the hard thing for me is I think I look at NYCFC and go, probably not a great team this year, have struggled. We handled them pretty easily at the beginning of the season. Or I don't remember how that game went, but it wasn't, I don't remember. But I just say like, that's not a good team, right? And all that kind of stuff. Well, they won 4 out of the last 5. The only team they lost to in their last 5 games was Miami, and they got beat 4-0 by Miami. But they beat Chicago, playoff team, Columbus, Charlotte, and New York Red Bull. And so it's not like they're beating bad teams either. They're beating decent teams, and they're
Red Bull
winning games. So
I mean, Red Bull's we still don't know what Chicago is.
They're in the playoffs though. Like, let's put it that way. They're in the playoffs.
I don't think that's a bar, really, when you let 9 teams in.
With more than half of the conference making the playoffs, it's hard to just say every playoff team is a good team. I mean, NYCFC somehow are a top 4 team, and I don't know how that happened. Because, like, I would say I consider top 4 at each conference like what your good teams in theory are. So sorry, Columbus. Somehow you have fallen down to 9th, and I don't know how you did that, but you're not a good team this year. I think it is good that the Union are going to be playing NYCFC here, just because, again, just talking about pressure and tune up for the playoffs, like with them being one of the hotter teams in the Eastern Conference, you would face them in like the second round.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for me is you look at where NYCFC is, and they're third in the table. They have 56 points, and really they beat Charlotte, Chicago, and Columbus, who are all in a clump of teams that are 5 to 9 in the conference that are all separated by 3 points. So they beat 3 of those teams, and essentially what that did was that separated NYCFC out of that group of teams. And so I look at that and go, okay, they're performing under pressure. They are performing under pressure circumstances. And so, to your point, like, can the Union perform under pressure circumstances? And we'll definitely find out. But it's clear to me that NYCFC is, and so it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see how this game goes.
Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, I would much rather play this game at Subaru Park. I would rather play this game on pretty much any other surface than City Field, whatever, Yankee Stadium. Sorry, one of those. They play on a baseball diamond. It's never fun for anybody. And then, yeah, it'll be a good test. Like, the Union have been very Philadelphia Union when it comes to high pressure or like games where you have to have a couple clutch moments. In that they haven't had them. So hopefully, when it's just win this game and then you're set up perfectly for the playoffs, just win the game.
Yeah. Probably one other comment that I would make. You mentioned Columbus and where Columbus is in the table. How about that Daniel Gazdag trade? That was a story at one point this year.
Did they
And
just
yes, folks,
send him?
that did happen in 2025, just so everyone's aware.
Did the Union send him in to weaken Columbus?
Maybe.
Apparently. Yeah, I didn't know sleeper agent Danny Gazdag was on everyone's bingo card this year. But yeah, I don't know. There was weird chatter that like Wilfred Nancy's been kind of found out as a coach, which feels really odd to say, given that his whole thing was like, look at Montreal's lack of resources. They're really good now because I'm some kind of wonderkind. But now you have a world where I think because New York City has been so okay, they've been rewarded with like fourth in the conference. Whereas Columbus has had a lot more sort of apparently lows, and they're ninth. I don't know like what the point difference between fourth and ninth is in the Eastern Conference. It's probably not drastic, but it just goes to show where like the two things you have to do in MLS are start hot and then finish hot, and really anything else is nice. If you're super consistent, you get a shot at the Supporters Shield. And this year we have had probably the most consistently good teams that we've had in a while, because I think this is the first year in recent history that we have like 5 or 6 teams that can win the Supporters Shield. But yeah, it's going to be tricky to try to figure out New York Saturday, because they always play their rivalry games well, and this is no exception, obviously.
Yeah, it's good you've got 2 shots at it, right? That, like, all right, if you don't win this one, you've got the game against Charlotte. You don't want to win the Supporters Shield on the road, but you've got that game too. And so I think but you would hope they can get it done at home. We haven't lost since April at home, and so
you said the magic words.
Hope we can get it done.
It's your fault now.
It's been said way more than me. I can't be at fault for that.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it with you to help.
That's okay.
Thank you. Yeah,
I mean, you're clearly a little busy right now.
No, he's fine. This is fine. This is normal. This happens.
This is all.
Yeah, no, see, a cat has to make an appearance on the podcast at all times, and mine is shut out of the bedroom right now.
No, see, you gotta open that door up.
No, because he's been just like sitting on my laptop computer lately.
Yeah, it's warm.
Yeah, but it's like it used to already be bad, but if I put him on my lap, he would like stay there. And now he just like walks right back onto the computer, and it's like my entire job is using this computer, and you refuse to get a job, so someone has to keep a roof over our heads.
What if we just have our cats? If we clinch the Supporters Shield next week, the final game of the regular season, we'll just have all of our animals combined for like 30 minutes on a podcast, so no one will hear anything, but the visual will be awesome. So it'll be an audio for a visual that week, where we'd be like,
We
listen, if
can
you go to
try
our
it for sure.
YouTube or TikTok, like you're gonna see some cute animals, but there's not gonna be any soccer content.
We could try it for sure.
I think it would work. I think it would work.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna have us make a prediction on this one because I don't want to actually curse anything.
You don't want to farther jinx it,
But
yeah.
I didn't jinx it. It's fine.
I just one of us said the thing, two of us didn't.
Anything else about this team, about the soccer world? Anything else you guys
What?
want to talk about before we get out of here?
What a weird year, right? We're not. That's a different podcast, but man,
actually, well, we didn't mention that Jim Curtin's not going to New England.
well, I mean, you guys have been really hesitant to talk about him for the last month, so I didn't want to try to force it again. So I'm a.
Well, he's not.
I don't want to talk about it either. So
I don't think there's more that needs to be said outside of we don't have to see him coach one of the top teams that we hate watching the Union play against.
Well, yeah, because we'd know how the game would go.
that's true.
It would just be different players. We'd be like, well, okay, Veroni comes off at 65 for some random 20-year-old kid, and then I don't know, Corey Burke off the bench, 80th minute.
All right, well, that's what we think. Let us know what you think. You can find us at VFTV Pod all over the internet, and we'll be back either next week or the following in this whatever international break it is, and whatever games that are being played. We don't really know, but after that international break, we'll be back to talk about Charlotte and the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. But hit us up at VFTV Pod wherever you can find us on the internet. We'll be there, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon.